Hi everyone, and welcome to HPM Wellness and Pursuit of Wellness podcast. And I'm your host, Daria Tiesler. I am so excited to welcome you in 2021 after a long or short-term break from my side. Lots of new changes are coming and are on the way, but we still stay in focus on health optimization and performance optimization, because I believe there is a better way to reach your peak. We're still going to improve your body, your mind, your health, your anything you wish, right? And today guest is my dear colleague, Umar Malik. I'm very excited to actually host this amazing gentleman and personal trainer, because I think he has a beautiful story that I would like that everyone hear. Outside of being amazing personal trainer, and I have been having pleasure to work with him for not many months, but I think we get a chance to connect, and I still remember our conversation during one of the event at Ultimate Performance, where we talk, what is missing in this body transformation topic, right? What about these things that are going outside of nutrition and outside of exercise? And we had we clicked, right?
Yeah,
right.
I remember.
Perfect. So Umar, once again, thank you very much for joining me and welcome to my little show.
Thank you so much. It's my absolute pleasure to be here, Daria. I can't wait to get going. And thank you for the very kind intro as well. It was really nice working with you at UP. And yeah, it's great to see you again.
Perfect. Yes, thank you so much. And great that you are doing well in this very strange time for personal training and for fitness industry. So I would like to open with a, I think, introductory question to you. Actually, to you. So you introduce us to yourself beyond what I said, what I told to audience. Just tell who you are, who is Umar, and what is your story.
So my name is Mohammed Umar Iqbal Malik. That's my full name. And my story, I'd say what I'm most known for is losing 85 kilos of body weight, of body fat, and transforming myself from where I was completely a different person to who I am now. That's what people know me for. And I'd say that where my story comes from is a place where I didn't really know what I wanted in my life. I didn't really know how to get there. And then I found clarity. I found clarity by acting in the only direction I knew at the time, which was the gym. And it provided me with so much direction in my life that it's allowed me to go forward and actually help other people find their own clarity. And I do that now. Daria spoke about how we're both personal trainers, we work with clients. And yeah, I owe a lot to the barbell, because it's really saved my life. And the people I've met along the way have really helped me understand myself. And it's really interesting because you're coming to me at a time right now where I think I have the most clarity in regards to who I am and who I was before. Just yesterday, I was sitting and thinking about the ways in which my mind didn't used to work before, but through meeting people, through interacting, through training, and through taking control of my life, things are completely unrecognizable now compared to where I was before. So that's a brief intro into me and where you find me today.
It's very, I'm shaking and I have some hair up actually, because this is what I believe. It is, you beautifully say, is barbell saved my life, but we both know, and we're going to discuss and dig deeper into that is not that barbell, is not that iron, is what this makes you to become. Because you're training your resilience, you're training your inner strength, and you're training your discipline and consistency. And I think just occurred to me when you were saying why, because I feel very similar way, Umar. in this difficult, I'm going a little bit off the topic here, but in this difficult circumstances that we are all in, it's not only fitness professionals, it's everyone, every single human being. We've been practicing for so many years, in your case, in my case as well, this discipline to go in every few times a week, training, following certain way of eating, certain way of being and lifestyle. This is the training resilience, training your strength. When you can see how strong you become is at the situations and moments like now. This is your test, right? And this is the way I feel. I completely agree with you. I knew that I am a strong person, but inside you is always that that moment, hey, really, can I survive this? You know, but so many things happen in my life, and you know, for the last 2 years, and I always say, you know, this is not going to make you weaker, it's going to make you stronger, but with empathy and full love and respect to yourself. This cannot be missed. That is just 100%. My beautiful summary and adding towards what you said. How did you end up being personal trainer, Umar?
I ended up being a personal trainer. I'd say I credit my dad for this. I remember when I was probably 4, 5. That's it, 100%. I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I would want to be like my dad. I would want to be like my dad. He would show me Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and he is still 6'4", big guy, always trained, and he would pick me up from school, and everyone would want to talk to him and want to kind of be his friend. And me seeing that influence from a very young age made me want to walk in his footsteps very closely. So wherever he would go, I would want to go. And one of the places he would go quite often was the gym. He would train with his friends, and I would love to go with him. So from a really young age, I would be the kid. You know, you don't see it much nowadays because gyms are so commercial nowadays. You're not allowed to have kids in there. But back in the day, I'd say this is like early 90s, 95, I'd say like 96, 97. I remember running around gyms and kind of just being around while my dad and his friends would train, his training partners would train. And I got that influence from a very, very young age. So when I turned, 16, I remember him buying me a set of weights. And this was a barbell and it was 2 dumbbells. And the dumbbells were fixed dumbbells. They were fixed, so you couldn't adjust them. They were both 22.5 kilo dumbbells, which is not light. Yeah? For a first set of dumbbells, it's not light, right? And he just left me to it. He said, look, just do your thing. And from there, obviously I did things wrong. I didn't know what I was doing, but it really led me down the path of, I'm so excited because I have this for myself. I get to express myself now in this way. You know, this thing has been waiting in me from such a young age, from seeing my dad express himself and get what he got in regards to how society viewed him. And I think I made that connection really young, being influenced by Arnold Schwarzenegger, seeing physiques and superheroes. Now it's my turn. So that's where my journey started. And from there, it was from training partners, from people wanting to train with me, because in me, I'd seen this from a very young age. So I had a love for weights even before I even got into it. And when I would train in the gym, people would always ask, "Oh, can I work in with you? And can I have a spot?" And they would kind of have a bit of trust there, and that trust is the trust that we now have with our clients. So I think that's my initial insight to personal training, was people just innately trusting me because of this journey I'd been on subconsciously from a very young age. And here we are today. I qualified as a personal trainer very young. I actually qualified while I was still going through my weight gain and years of kind of absence. I call them years of absence because I wasn't fully present in those years, but I was still being pulled by this invisible thread towards helping myself and helping other people. And I'd say putting that all together led me to do the only thing that I really knew that I loved, which is weight training and also helping other people weight train. So you end up stepping into personal training, and I'm not looked back since.
You're talking, Umar, a so important and crucial thing that I want to pick here, because you're talking about presence. Weights, I'm always saying, you're not just doing strength training. You're not just following the nutrition. You just, this is your presence. And that's what is that deep essence of the holistic body transformation. And my question here and my wondering is, based on your experience, what is actually missing, Umar, in this body transformation field, right? I could call it field right now because you can see on social media lots of happening, right? Everyone say, I want to transform, I want to have that body, I want to have that body. Here we go, that is not a problem, go and do it. But many people actually turning back to being who they were before, body-wise, because they probably never changed internally, right? Yeah. Or they may even regressing further back to what they never would think they will be becoming, right? What do you think is happening here? What is missing element or elements?
It's, do you know what? It's so many things. It's so many things. And I think that I want to start here in terms of people who instruct in this field. I feel like sometimes it's too much a business for some people. And they're looking at people like, I'm going to transform them, I'm going to market them, and I'm going to just win from having a picture. And that's the first mistake, is that this is human life. This is actually human life unfolding. And it's a duty of care for us to fully understand the people that we're working with. If we want to impart something to somebody else, you can't just give a product like life-changing results to somebody and not know all of the other areas in which this person has to operate. You know, it's okay to give somebody a few less kilos in body fat, give them a bit of understanding and move up and down with this weight, but it's deeper than this. You know, it's really genuinely deeper than this. And I think that it's often looked at very surface levels, at just the outside, what you can see, but this is really not the way. This is really, really not the way to kind of have your whole being be orientated in a certain way, and then want to change that. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do. And I feel like people don't really respect the full entity that is transformation, you know, because because of the way it's marketed, because of the generation that we live in now. Everything is social media and 5-second clips here, 10-second clips there. We want to get abs in 2 minutes, and it's not the way. It's just not the way. When we go to school, this is a lovely like thought that was offered to me recently. When we go to school, we study for years and years and years, and it changes us from an infant into a grown person who goes to university, gets a job. This is a long period. But we look at transformation as an adult and we think we want it in 12 weeks. So, come on, this is really, that's as simple as that. Years and years versus 12 weeks. How much can you really change in 12 weeks? You can understand some things, but let's call it what it is here. We're actually changing lives. So give it more respect than to say it's going to happen quickly. Understand all the fields of play, which I think some people in the industry do really well, but the majority of the industry, I think, sometimes sells itself short.
Yes, I agree with you, Umar, because you know, I have been in this industry since 2006, right? Outside of before being athlete, but in its industry itself, working in UK. And I completely share this with you. We lost as an industry this deep essence of why do we do this, right? And what is happening is just we deliver what people want. And people want physical change. People want fast results. So this is the way things are marketed, because that's how things are getting. People receive what they want. Yeah. But you know, I think we both on the same plate. There is some positive and negative of this, but I think what ultimately needs to happen is that trainers as well as clients need to get open for what you said. This is a long process, and we need to educate both sides. Because either is not, in my opinion, just responsibility of a trainer to educate. Because people come and they say, I pay you 1,000, can you make me like that? Right? And they leave in all job to a trainer. So then the trainer is trying to deliver what the clients want, right? So it's the management expectation. I had that problem because I always wanted to deliver that. And sometimes you are like, but you know what? This is not going to happen. Be honest with them. So I think there is like a lots of here happening, and I think it needs lots of bravery from a trainer. And maybe because teaching on the schools of personal training is missing what we're just discussing, is missing that element of coaching, element of knowing yourself better. So then there's better encounter between trainer and trainee. I think we are very much agreeing and overlapping, kind of summarizing here. So you think that there is that side of that marketing that maybe need to kind of have a little bit different approach, right? Kind of longer term changes and transformation. What are the other elements itself? They are another elements.
Yeah, I think you've got to start there and call it what it is. Let's be honest. Let's sell the truth, because if we start to sell something which is a lie, you know, you're constantly trying to keep people interested. You're constantly trying to hope that they're going to buy more sessions or this or that. Really, it's not about that. Really, let's call it what it is. Okay, if you want to change, we have to change. We have to actually put the work in to look at all the areas of your life which are currently pointing in one direction, and slowly take the things that are easy to change and we start to move them around, and then we bring the bigger things around, and slowly the landscape starts to look different. You know, you can't expect it to overnight, the ecosystem just to be completely rewired and for it to be functioning and for everything to be okay and for all to be meshing, because this is really what you're asking for. When somebody sees somebody who is walking with a certain confidence and they look a certain way and they have a certain lifestyle, well, this exists on so many different levels. We can polish you on the outside, but it doesn't mean that you're going to think the way this person thinks or react the way this person reacts. If you really want to embody this, or you really actually want to change or move yourself towards this, let's recognize all of the avenues we have to walk down and understand and know. And then it's a big thing. It's a big thing. And even I'm talking about it now, and I understand that there's a few things that have to be discussed and agreed upon between clients, but this is what it is. Let's fully understand what we're trying to change here, because if we don't, then there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between us as trainers and the client themselves, and that really can't be there. That just can't be there.
Yeah, you know, I also think that just thinking from the perspective of functional medicine, that often I have a clients who comes and I'm trying to easy their problem or easy their pain. So this is deliver fast result. I have headache. Maybe you need to think of this food. Maybe you need to sleep without mobile. Maybe, you know, something quick. But then long term, you have that marathon, right? And this is where you also working towards. So I think maybe this is the way things need to be approached, because we both know that we've seen amazing 12 weeks transformations and actually people staying transformed. Staying, and I've seen this, right? But what's happened after 3 months or 4 months is another story. And this client needs to get aware, but I think awareness, as you said, also comes from a trainer that has to start to educate them. Listen, you are here now, but now let's look for the root causes of what brought you to that position of gaining extra weight over time. How was with you Umar? How did you gain weight, lost weight, and what did happen when once you lost weight? on that different levels of body, mind, emotions. That is what I'm interested in, because I think that is also the missing link, all of this.
I totally agree, Daria. I totally agree. And you're right. People can lose weight very quickly. But it just goes to show that the person walking you through the initial transformation sometimes knows, okay, I can manipulate calories, I can train you very hard, we can get a lot of calorie expenditure, and your body fat will come off. Fantastic. But when we get to the stage where it's 12 weeks and when we've done the initial work, they don't have the tools to take you further sometimes. And this is the sad fact, is that now it's okay, now I'm walking on my own. So everything that you have learned to get you here, well, it doesn't apply anymore. It applies in some ways, but you can keep running the same method and people get bored of it, and people eventually start to be attracted to their old lifestyle again. But what you asked me was, why did I how did I kind of get to that stage, and then how did I kind of keep it going? Well, I think I had a very clear vision when I started that everything was going to change, not just my body. Everything had to go, because I feel like I had a very strong attachment to almost not liking where I was and how I was living my life on very many levels. And this is the root of me needing to change, because I wanted better for me. I wanted better for my life, my family, all of it. I felt I could be more effective in the world. And that's me being very honest with myself, I think. Now looking back and saying, look, you're not living up to your full potential. You must look at all these avenues. And it hurts to realize you're not enough, but it's perfect. It's great to realize that you're not enough, because only then do you realize that, okay, this is my deficit. I have to do a bit of work here, a bit of work here. Once I've done this work, fantastic, but this is still to do. Now, we can look at this and say, okay, now you're looking at different goals in your life. And when you have a new thing to chase, well, then you reset the 12 weeks and you're going in this direction now, but you're still keeping a hold of the things that got you the first 12 weeks, and then the next, and then the next thing, and the next thing. And that's what people don't do, is they don't realize that the body transformation is just an initial vehicle to get the match lit. Then you have to keep burning the fuel. And that only comes through your vision for yourself, going further than the physical outside appearance. I want to be able to express myself. I want to be able to move my body in new ways. I want to be able to experience new things. And all of these things were in my head when I wanted to break out of this shell that I was in. So now what I'm living continuous transformation. It's not 12 weeks. It never will be 12 weeks. I have to always be evolving and moving forward, because this is, and then I never get out of that phrase. I never get out of that mode of I've achieved my 12 weeks, because I'm always achieving it. And this is where I find myself all the time.
Yeah, it's very similar. I may be here hard and tough, and maybe many people will say you're crazy, right? Because exactly what you said, people could say you're crazy. You then have to have cake here, have wine here. No, it is not that way. This is the same as with the word cheat meal, right? I am very cross here that we even enable people to continuously using this word, because that is the word from their past self. There is no cheat meal. I'm bloody having here, sorry guys, I'm having here but the chocolate, right? Yeah. I'm showing this live, right? We're talking. There's no cheat meal, because I feel very balanced, right? And that's what is yours and my job, to help people to find the balance. And what you just said is to find fulfillment within themselves, find the joy, find the, not only the joy, you know, I think I posted recently a quote that in 2021, where we used to say exercise for fun and exercise for joy. 2021, exercise because it's supporting your health. Finally, health become a priority here. right? Look,
It's
what
crazy.
do we need to recognize the health as a treasure? And we usually losing this treasure to then be very, very bad to then build up. And exactly what you said, we need time, we need those little goals, but then moving from 3 months, another 3 months, another 3 months, until this become your really skin and you're free.
100%, 100%. Do you know something that I realized recently? And this was a big epiphany or realization, is that the life I used to live was physically covering me, but it was also mentally covering me in the way that I was doing things like eating a lot. I was doing things like sitting in my thoughts, and sometimes being very absent, and sometimes not partaking in social, just not even social, but just not partaking in deeper levels of thought. And this led me down the route I was in, and I feel like that's quite an important thing for me to realize, because now if I catch myself doing that, I'm identifying with how I was before. And that can sometimes happen just out of the blue. But now I'm much more aware of myself. And I realize, you know what, you used to do this before. And it would lead me down a path where it would turn from, okay, a couple of hours of absence. And then there's things you don't do, there's things you put off. And then it becomes you, it becomes how you live your life. And you settle for less because your level of processing, your level of being is less. You don't expect more of yourself, you don't push yourself, and you physically start to represent this because you mentally allow this. And this, what you talked about just now, a cheat meal, it's become accepted because we have allowed it to become accepted. But what it really is, you call it what it is, it's just taking you off your path. And what I've personally experienced is that the more I stamp these things, this cheat meal mentality out of my life, the happier I am, because it keeps me conscious, it keeps me present. I used that word earlier, and there's no greater joy. Genuinely, I've eaten every food, I've indulged in everything I want to indulge in, and lazed around and watched the movies and watched the box. Yes, great, fantastic. But no, I'm sorry. At a certain point, it's poison. At a certain point, it's an absolute poison. And what you realize is you're trading your wealth for fake immaterial things that are actually deteriorating you from inside, and that eventually turns into your outside. That realization, I think, has been the biggest thing for me, is slowly now wandering through my own mind and wandering through my own psyche and realizing, okay, that's got to go, that should go eventually. And it's just a purification of yourself, right? That's how I see it.
Yes, 100%, because I think what you mentioned before is about addressing the emotional state of yours.
Yeah.
Because what you're cheating, a meal or yourself?
That's it.
Right?
Yeah,
who you cheating? I think sometimes even we as a professionals, we are afraid to just maybe facing the truth or shows the truth to people because they want to have this cheat meal. Right? Oh, don't worry, then you're going to do extra 10,000 steps and you will be fine. No, you're not going to will be fine, because you're only going to balance your calories in and out, but the rest of your human still stays not addressed. Your emotional health has not been addressed. Your mental health, the way you are holding yourself, has not been addressed. And I think from this conversation comes, and is the beautiful answer for the question, what elements are missing in this body transformation. And I think we both agreed that is that emotional, mental, mind part that needs to be addressed more. And I think where you are right, Umar, then possibly trainers need much more education in that, how to then take clients from that 3 months initial physical change into further change, so they actually have the permanent and lasting transformation, right? Which is like, ooh, wow, a word again, but is actually what ultimately you wish for the client you work with to achieve, right?
Yeah.
You want them
That's
to be free. You want them eat a piece of chocolate without guilt, but then they naturally know that they're not going to have this tomorrow or after tomorrow or after tomorrow, or they're not going to eat this because they are not feeling fulfilled.
100%. I totally agree with what you said there. You made me think of it like it's just the exterior work that now has to be taken interiorly.
Yeah.
You said like the emotional change hasn't occurred yet, because a trainer sometimes, and I don't want to bash personal trainers, because I feel like it's such a lovely profession.
Yes.
That people actually, it's a very selfless profession, because you sometimes it can be very selfless, because you're literally spending your life improving the lives of others, showing
Yes.
people how to be more resilient, showing people how to care for themselves. And I feel like I look at the medical profession, the recognized medical profession, doctors, nurses, and I think they're obviously amazing work they do. But I also see personal trainers and see them as high. They potentially can be as high, only if they put in the work that you're talking about here as well. Because you can be just a trainer, and it's fine, because you can go and read every Charles Poliquin article ever written, and you can follow the protocols, and you can go and be great, fantastic, and you can learn all of the other stuff. But it's to really direct somebody through their life, there's so many more things at play. You're totally right.
I remember had a client, my very good client. I'm not going to say a name here, but it is she.
Yeah.
I met her at some point of her body transformation as a change of a trainer, and our first session, she was sitting on the bench at the gym. And I sat down next to her, and she started to cry. I'm saying, why did you cry? Because I don't know what is next. I don't want to come back into that body that I had, but I don't know what is next. I don't know how to handle the next.
Yeah.
Because now I have fear of eating. Now I have fear of not exercising. Now I have fear of stopping counting the calories. This is only what I know. So actually, further work took another 2 years to make the body feel this is who I am. But as she told me, I had to change on different level. I had to become, as you said at the beginning, Umar, brave with myself. What were the problems? Why did I overeat? What was emotional eating happen? What was cheat meal happening? Why I was not moving? Why I had alcohol? Why I did,
100%.
So and I'm sure you had clients like that who did get this beautiful body work and they wanted more. And then there is no capacity for a trainer to work further, which brings me to thinking, and my battery is getting down. One moment on my Mac, 1 second.
Go on.